It's Friday again. You know what that means. It's time for another Quick Queries Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Ross. Quick Queries are answers to questions about Microsoft Access, not necessarily queries. We're using queries in the generic sense. Sometimes they include queries, but not always. Let's see what we got this week. First off, I wanted to share something funny that I got from ChatGPT. Often when I get questions from you guys and emails, I use ChatGPT to clean up the spelling and grammar and punctuation and all that stuff. And this is the one I did today. And I hate M dashes. I can't stand them. So I always tell it in the instructions, don't use M dashes, don't use curly quotes, don't use all that stuff. I call them forbidden characters, right? And so I said, you included a forbidden character. You know, I hate M dashes, right? He goes, oh, busted. You're right. M dash snuck in. Here's the corrected version without any forbidden characters. And it did it again. It caught itself. Wait, did it again. Let's fix that for real this time. And then at the end, it said, there we go, clean and compliant. Want a grumpier or funnier version too? So once in a while, I'll have it rewrite it. Because sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes your questions don't make a lot of sense. And I have to kind of read it 3 times myself to get it. So I'll use GPT sometimes to clean it up, to write it, more understandably. And I said, I used the one you gave me, but just out of curiosity and for fun, I'd like to see both the grumpier and the funnier versions. It gave me grumpy and funny. You could read those if you want to. And then it said, let me know if you want a passive-aggressive version too. I can channel that energy, no problem. And so I said, yeah, let's go passive-aggressive. Absolutely. So apparently whoever exported this data thought it was a good idea to use curly quotes, foreign letters, and other fancy characters in the text fields. Now Access is choking on it, and I have to fix it. Is there a way just to clean up this mess and convert everything back to normal characters, or do I have to manually babysit every single record? And one that blames Excel too? Oh, I didn't think of that one. That's always a crowd favorite. But I said you should add "not that I really care" at the end of it. No, you don't have to do that. I'm just joking. It says, too late. Now I have to do it. Here's the bonus version. I love how GPT sometimes gets an attitude. To babysit every single record, not that I really care. Now I kind of want to see what let me know if you want a version that subtly blames Steve from accounting. I didn't see that before. Blame Steve from accounting and his Excel sheets. Let's see what it comes up with. I have to know. Accented letters and random characters that look like they belong in a foreign film. Oh boy, okay. Yeah, I had to share this with you guys. I cracked up for a good 10-15 minutes this morning. But let's get to some real questions. Wait, before we do, I said that's hilarious. I just put all of that in one of my videos. You're famous now. Steve is infamous. Hi, yes, my work here is done. Steve, on the other hand, he's going to need to update his LinkedIn after this one. Glad it made the cut. You let me know if you ever want a cameo from Steve's cousin Karen, who formats everything in Comic Sans and password protects her spreadsheets with 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep the Access universe moving smooth at one passive-aggressive jab at a time. Oh, maybe I've had too much coffee today. I don't know. I find this stuff hilarious. One thing that's cool with ChatGPT now is that it actually kind of keeps a personality a little bit because it gets to know you. It stores a memory of your conversations. And so the more you chat with it, the more it gets to understand your personality. And it knows I'm a bit of a jokester, so it throws this stuff in. And it also knows that I love Star Trek. Once in a while, it'll just randomly throw a Star Trek reference in something if I'm talking to it. So that's really cool. Anyways, first up, Charles asks a good question. This is my click to sort video where we say me.orderby equals whatever field you're ordering by, and then me.orderByOn to turn on the sort, right? And he's like, should the OrderByOn equals true come before the OrderBy? I would say go the other way around. I would say do the OrderBy first and then OrderByOn, because if there's an existing OrderBy in there, let's say you're sorting by first name, right? If you turn OrderByOn on first, it's going to sort by that first name field. Then if you change it, you might get a second sort. I haven't tested this myself, but this is just off the top of my head. So I would set the OrderBy first so it knows what field you want to sort by, then turn the sort on. Okay? And of course, if you have OrderByOnLoad set, it's going to load when the form opens. So good question. I had to test it, of course. And yes, if you do it this way, if you do OrderByOn first, it's going to sort by whatever the previous order by was. I put in the form in the data tab. I put order by last name, and I said OrderByOnLoad is no. So last name is stored in the form as the sort, but it's not going to load when the form loads. But last name is in there. Now, when I hit this button, it's going to turn the order by on first, then set the order by first name, and you're going to see it. I don't know if the video is going to catch it, but you're going to see it sort twice. It's going to sort by last name because that's what's in the order by field. Then it'll resort on first name. Ready? See, I know it happens really quickly, and it's easy to miss. You know what? I can put a timer in there. Hold on. All right, we're going to put a 2-second delay in. So it's going to do that, then sleep, then do that. All right, so I got to go back in here now and make sure this says last name. Save it. All right, so it's going to open up with last name in there. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, it's not sorted by anything right now except the ID. But last name is what's in the order by field. All right, now if I hit it, you should see it sort by last name, wait 2 seconds, and then sort by first name. Ready? Go. Last name, 2 seconds, first name. See how that happened? So to answer your question, you definitely should have this first before you turn order by on. Otherwise, you're going to get 2 sorts, right? Ready? Okay, save it now. And I'll do the same thing. Come back in here, make this last name. Save it. Okay, now hit the button. You should only watch it sort once now. Okay, and there. See? So Charles, excellent question, but the order by should definitely come before you turn order by on. And we just proved it. Okay? Awesome question. Thank you. Jay Dragon posting comments on the tag property. He says, I know you go by, now I know you, I can't talk today. Now I know you go by Rick. I go by Rick personally. I go by Richard professionally. So everything, because Rick Ross sounds like the rapper Rick Ross, right? No, seriously, I've been Richard Ross professionally since the 90s. So I was famous before he was famous. I love Rick Ross. Don't get me wrong. And yes, the beep, the smoke alarms in my house. My house is only 3 years old, and the smoke alarms in here are cursed, I swear. Only one of them has a battery, and the other ones don't. They're all hardwired together, and they beep randomly, and I've replaced the battery a million times. So, and I live in Florida, so we don't have fire-breathing red dragons down here. We have the swamp-dwelling green and, what's the other one? Black dragons, blue dragons. There's a bunch of different things that hang out down here, so. And your question, what's the difference between a sub and a function? I actually have a whole video on this. Both subs and functions are considered procedures, and the difference is functions return a value, whereas subs just do stuff. So you can have a sub that issues a bunch of commands, but a function returns a value. In this video, I teach you how to create your own functions. I should probably put together a good video that discusses the differences between subs and functions. I don't think I have. I'm not sure if I have one or not. Let's find out. And I find out by doing a Google search, and if my video doesn't show up, oh, that means I need to make one. So there are some other videos on here. I'm sure these are pretty good, but yeah, that's my goal is to show up in #1 in all the video searches everywhere for access. Next up on my Edit Mode 2 video, N269 says, personally, the tag property could be used as a series of data instructions separated by a semicolon. Yeah, you certainly could use in-string instead of an equality comparison. You could stuff whatever you want in that tag property. I'm not sure offhand what the limit is. I think it's 255 characters, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. All right, I just looked it up, and GPT says it's 2,048 characters. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't store that much in there. If you got more than a couple hundred characters in there, you might want to rethink your database. But I've stored lots of stuff in there before. I used to store coordinates for form controls. Like if someone wanted to move the controls around, I put little buttons on there. I think I did a video on this before, and I would store the coordinates of where that control should be in the tag property, right? The height, width, the X and Y. And that worked great. And then eventually I moved that up to storing that data in a table, which is probably how you should store that. But you can use tag for all kinds of stuff. Shadow Dragon says, my first thought on handling the checkbox error was to check the control type and bypass it if it was a checkbox. Yeah, this is where when we're looping, if we can't change the background color of the control, like if it's a text box, we can change the background color to indicate it's locked. Checkboxes don't have that. And I mentioned in the video that the best, well, I don't want to say the best way, the proper way to handle it is to check the control type and see if it has a, if it's a type of control, like a text box, that has a BackColor property, and if not, skip it. But oftentimes, what's the pinky up proper way to do it isn't always necessarily the best way to do it. You can bypass it with a simple error handler here. It's not going to hurt anybody. If you can't change background color, just skip it and move on, right? I really don't care if you can or not. So if it makes a difference, if it really matters to your code that you're able to change that background color, otherwise something catastrophic is going to happen, then by all means, check to see. But if it's something simple like this, nah, just on error, resume next. This comment, I've had discussions about this both on my website and on some other forums. It's a relief to know I'm not the only person being polite to chatbots. I like to imagine that it's training them to train humans to be kind. Smile and the world smiles back at you. Yeah, I don't believe that AI is sentient in any way or that I'm going to hurt its feelings if I don't say please and thank you. I do treat other people that way. In fact, one of my biggest pet peeves in life is rude people. You're at Starbucks and you're standing in line and the person in front of you is like, I want this and I want no fun. And then just mean. I just want to just shake those people. So I definitely believe in being polite to other people. What you put out into the world does tend to come back to you. As far as chatbots go, as far as ChatGPT and stuff goes, they're trained on they're trained on communication from real people. And I've seen firsthand, like I mentioned earlier at the top of the video, that ChatGPT has a personality, and how you treat it, it will tend to treat you the same way. If you just want quick, curt, fast answers with no, flavor, it'll give you that. If you're polite to it and you have a conversation with it, it learns your conversational style. And so we are teaching AI to be polite and to be nice. They've actually done some studies where they've fed transcripts from like horror movies into the GPT into an AI, and it got sadistic. So it's garbage in, garbage out. How you talk to it, it's going to talk to you back. So yeah. And no, the VBA is not past. It's not beyond anyone. This is not hard stuff. You can do it. Start with my intro to VBA video and work your way up from there. Okay. And if you want to really learn the proper way to program, take my developer course, and I'll walk you through it, and I'll hold your hand. Well, not literally, but my videos will hold your hand. This one isn't access related, but I wanted to address it here. I did a video a little while back because I've got Comcast internet, business internet, and it went down, right? I do have a cellular backup on it, and so it comes over the same connection. But that's like super slow. We're talking like dial-up slow. It's enough to keep things running, but not enough to work on or like upload videos. But I can hotspot my phone. And if I hotspot my phone, I get a decent connection with that. That's 5G, right? And so I can switch on the Wi-Fi in my laptop and connect through my phone. And so the user here is asking, since the Comcast connection is faster than your Wi-Fi, why did you prioritize Wi-Fi over Ethernet for the internet connection? And that's because the Comcast was down, right? And so the backup Comcast connection, there is a cellular connection, but it's stupid slow. So I want to prioritize my phone. So if I turn my Wi-Fi on my laptop, it'll look for my phone first. And I don't have to manually switch on and off one or the other. Plus, my whole network is on my Ethernet, on my wired connection, so I can still connect to my server, my printers, and all that. But if it sees an internet connection on my cellular connection on my phone through Wi-Fi, it'll prioritize that for Wi-Fi. That was the purpose of the video. So if you're working in an office setting where you have wired connection, so you can connect to the company network, right? But your internet connection through that is dog slow, you can hotspot your phone, prioritize internet over your phone, and connect faster through that. That's why I put together that video. Okay? Sorry if that wasn't evident. Next up, can you create an employee payroll system in Excel with a logon button? You could, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't do anything that involves user logons in Excel, first of all. And a proper payroll system, you're talking relational tables. You're talking relating stuff together. That screams database. I would not build a payroll system in Excel. Access, absolutely. One of these days, maybe I'll get around to it. I tried doing my own payroll when I had employees back in the 90s. It was a pain in the behind. I hate doing payroll, figuring all the calculations and the withholdings and no. So I just paid a payroll company to do it for me. But could you build a database to do it if you fully understand payroll? Sure. I don't. I'm sure I could sit down and learn it, but it's not something. You haven't seen me do a payroll video yet, have you? Because I don't like payroll. I really don't. And yes, I love getting compliments. Thank you very much. This is very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Fakir says, I searched for class in MS Access VBA and your video didn't show up. Thank you. For a lot of people who don't know, if you don't watch my videos on a regular basis, I'm on a mission, like I mentioned earlier, to get my videos as like the first thing that you see when you search Google or YouTube. Now, this has a double meaning. I just did that search too. For this, you're getting videos on class modules. The first couple that showed up. Mine actually showed up fourth, even though it's not related to class modules. I haven't covered class modules yet, and even my developer course, I'm going to very soon, mostly because they're cool and all, but you really don't need them in Access, but I am going to show some ways that they're useful. The other meaning of this is like taking a class in Microsoft Access VBA, and for those, it's very difficult to get in a good position with those because you're getting a lot of paid results first. And there's so many companies out there that pay like a lot of money to show up in those top search results. Even the sponsored results, forget it. And so those are hard nuts to crack, right? Microsoft Access training, Microsoft Access tutorials, Microsoft Access classes. I stopped a long time ago. I try to go for long tail keywords, they're called, like specific stuff, right? Microsoft Access DLOOKUP, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that, though. Do keep letting me know if you search for something Access related and I don't show up. I get this one a lot, too. I've learned a lot from you in the past years. I'm not working with Access anymore, and I thought it was dead now. It's not dead now. Access is far from dead. In fact, I just went to the Microsoft MVP Summit in Redmond last month and met with the Access team. And nope, they're guaranteed to be around at least until 2029. Guaranteed. And it's going to be around a lot longer than that, mark my words. That's just how long that they've definitely funded support and development for it through. But yeah, people are still using it. Lots of people are still using it. Tons of people are still using it. As far as your second part there, web-based application, that's the one downside is Access does not really port well to a web-based application. What I do personally is I take my tables from my database and I put them in SQL Server online. I got a whole separate seminar about that. I'll give you a link in a second. And then as far as your front end goes, there's lots of different tools you can do. There's different applications. I personally use ASP, which is a web-based programming language, and you could build forms and stuff in your web browser, and that can connect to your Access database, your tables on your SQL Server. So there's not like a click and take your Access database and put it online. But here, I got some other videos you can watch that'll teach you more about this. Go watch this video, and here's my full seminar where I walk you through all of that. We'll take your Access database, we'll put the data up in SQL Server, and then I'll show you how to build a real simple web-based interface for it like that. It's not that hard. Next up, Robert says, I love Star Trek. You're gonna get mentioned in a TechHelp video if you love Star Trek. That's just how it is. Star Trek fans get priority. I'm sorry. Especially Next Generation, and I really like Voyager as well. Grew up watching them from the 80s on with my dad. Awesome. You had a fantastic childhood. I made sure my kids watched Star Trek too. I do have a question. If it's possible to create a drop-down almost like a list box, so in theory there would be categories and next to each name would be a box with a plus or a minus symbol based on whether or not you want to expand or shrink that list. Yes, what you're describing is called a tree view. And there is something called a tree view control. It's an ActiveX control. I don't have any TechHelp videos available on this because it is a more complicated topic, but I do cover it in Access Developer Level 20. So if you really want to learn how to use it, I'll put a link to this down below. Also, that brainwave, isn't that from Batman Forever that the Riddler put on? Yeah. So what he's referring to is Several years ago for my April Fool's joke, I do one almost every year. I did this thing called brainwave training, where you put this thing on and it just beams the new knowledge into your head, so you don't have to actually like watch videos or learn stuff. You'll just know it. And it's an April Fool's joke. Click here for more information. And yeah, you get me laughing at you. But yeah, that's definitely from Batman Forever. That's what the Riddler used. He was sucking the minds out of the people of Gotham. So yeah, okay, good catch. Alrighty, folks, that's gonna do it. That's your quick queries number 37. Hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next week for the next quick queries, and I'll see you on Monday for a new video. Tech help, whatever it is, fast tips. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Have a good weekend. Take care. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that show more link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos. Plus, you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject, and you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.